Good evening, everyone, and welcome to This Week from Rockdale. And I am your host, Larry Cox. George and I have been having some technical difficulties, having some difficulty signing in. So, George and I may have to get together this week, and he'll bring his computer over, and me and him work on the logging in thing. So, so with him not probably going to be, if he figures it out and comes on, I'll bring him in because I've got his pictures set up to bring in and everything. And that's what we got going on. So you'll just have to put up with me talking some smack tonight, I guess, for a little while. So let me welcome some people to the show. Welcome Mary Boysworth. Welcome Cheryl and Ben Garcia. Welcome Angela Aspero. Welcome Mary. Welcome Marie Withers. Welcome Tina Hobbs. Welcome Charlotte Gellert. Um, so guys, why don't we do what we like to do this time? Why don't we like and share the show so we can build the audience so that a lot of people in Rockdale County can hear this and know what's going on. That's what we need to do. We need to like and share the show so that everybody in Rockdale County can know what's going on. Cheryl Moulton, welcome to the show. Thank you for joining the show this evening. Like I said, guys, very important that we share the show with our neighbors and that we let people know what's going on. I'll tell you, I was going into Publix this week at 212 and 138. As I was going in, there was a lady looked at me and she said, "Larry Cox." And I said, "Yes." And she said, she had a county shirt on. She said, "I don't work for the county." She said, "But I want to thank you for what you do for the community." So, I mean, and that happens just all the time in Rockdale County. So we do have people that are watching the show. They're paying attention to what's going on. And, and we try our best to make sure people are aware of what's going on in this county and what we can do to help each other. Because when it comes down to it, folks, this community is our community. It's not the Board of Education's community. It's not the Board of Commission's community, and it's not the City Council's community that represents the City Council. It's our community, the citizens of Rockdale County, and we elect those officials to to represent us. So, I mean, and that's what we do. We elect those representatives to represent our will, not for them to invoke their will upon us, but for them to invoke our will. And it's difficult for me and a lot of you to sit back and just watch as these officials run amok with our money, do what they want, and ignore the citizens of Rockdale County at all levels. That with the Board of Commission, the Board of Education, and the City of Conyers. The City of Conyers is just as guilty as the rest of these individuals by this high density housing nonsense that we have going on in this county. I was not at the infrastructure pretend uh, council meeting the other day, pretend committee meeting. It's a pretend committee. It doesn't mean anything. Really, really doesn't. Doesn't mean anything. But I understand that the cash that owns Dairy Queen and the buffet in Old Town and the and the Mexican restaurant in Old Town, he was there and he asked them how they intended to grow business in Rockdale County when you can't grow land. And that is a very good question because you can't grow land. And what we do have is we have a very limited space that uh, business development uh, can happen in. And what they're doing with that space is they're occupying all of that space with these high density housing, and not necessarily would those new businesses go in those areas, but we have empty storefronts and we have empty areas right now that we could repurpose. But our problem is this. Our problem is that they are gobbling up our much needed infrastructure that would go to that in as far as water and sewer capacity. They are gobbling that up for the high density housing, for the apartments and for the homes and for the townhomes that they're building in here. So those facilities are gobbling up what capacity we have with sewer and water in the area that we could grow some business in Rockdale County, and it's got to be the right business. And we have to have a business plan for Rockdale County. What are the right types of businesses for Rockdale County? What do we need to establish as parameters for these potential businesses that could develop in Rockdale County? But you've got to look what they're doing, and this is the city and the county by approving these high density housing models in that corridor right off of I-20, which we have sewer and water connection. We have sewer and water capacity. As they're gobbling up what capacity there is for that, then there is no capacity for any business that might locate in an empty warehouse or empty storage area or something that they may need to have that capacity for. So we're in dire straits when it comes, because our governments, this is the city and the county, do not do a good job forecasting what potentially could happen and what businesses could come to Rockdale County. Danielle and Alex, welcome to the show tonight. Glad to have you guys here. I saw Danny and Alex yesterday at the Celtic Tavern in Old Town. It was nice to see Danny. I actually got to see her twice this year because she came in this summer. That was interesting. So I did not know this. Academy Sports closed Thanksgiving, claimed bankruptcy. That thing just opened a few months ago. So now we've got this large retail store that's right here where they just demolished the old mall, strip mall, built this new thing, and the anchor, one of the anchor stores in the thing, as Cheryl just reported, was closed at Thanksgiving. Said they just filed bankruptcy. Lord have mercy. Doug Whittam, welcome to the show. What more can you say but bad planning, bad look ahead? What do you need in Rockdale County? So I was talking. I don't see Tina on the show. Maybe she'll join us a little later. But Tina was telling me through her OORs that she had got some information, and Charlotte's on here. She may be able to talk to this here in a second. That the sheriff's department has claimed that crime has went down 59% in Rockdale County. So if we have almost a 60%, which I don't believe this, I really don't. If we have a 60% reduction in crime, why are we talking about a courthouse renovation and add-on for new employees and stuff when they're claiming that the crime rate is going down? Would that not mean that there are less need for clerks and prosecutors and public defenders? If crime is reducing by over half, by 60% in this county, would it not mean that you would need to have a reduction of the courthouse size and the staff that you need for the courthouse, so you wouldn't need to build something ginormous like they want to? So then you go back to one of the original plans that was floated here a few years ago back over at Parker Road, a building like Alex McDonald proposed would probably be the idea type building if crime rates are actually what they say they are. So I find it interesting. If crime rates are declining in this county, violent crime. So, and that would be what we would look at, that would tie up a lot of court space, would be violent crime. So violent crime is down. Now, I've talked to people in law enforcement, and this is what they've told me about those statistics. So people in law enforcement and people who actually keep these stats, right? So people do this for a living. They've told me that you only count the percent if it's solved. So what it actually means is it's the amount of solved crimes has gone down 60%, right? So we don't know the actual amount of reported crimes because those are statistics they don't want us to know and don't report because they only report those things that have been, solved. Did I hear former Richard comment at the BOC meeting? He supports. Actually, former Chairman Odin and I have discussed this personally, and he's personally told me. So I'm going to put Charlotte's comment up there. Uh, uh, did you hear former Commissioner Richard Odin's public comment at the last BOC meeting? He supports Parker Road site. I heard some of that, and then and then the chairman point blank just said that facility will be done in Old Town. Very stern, ignoring, like we've talked about, 70% of the folks in Rockdale County on 3 different occasions, and over 70 when we asked the ballot questions, have said they don't want a new facility in Old Town. That's what they've said. And 70% of the people voted in 2018 not to issue bonds, not to go in debt for a new building there. So it's absolutely ridiculous when we see this. But former Chairman Odin and I have had this conversation, and that's, he was 100% said that's what we needed to do, as a facility needed to go up Parker Road. Not only does former Chairman Odom say that, but former Chairman Wheeler also stated the same thing, that his intents, if he would have been reelected when Chairman Odom defeated him, would have been to start the process of having a courthouse, for Parker Road. Those were his beliefs and what he thought should happen also. Said the land was specifically purchased for that purpose. So I find it very interesting. That goes. I've also had comments with former Chairman Odin about Costly Mill. Former Chairman Odin point blank told me that he would not consider that burden on the taxpayers because it would just be a continuous burden. He did not see it as feasible. So the JFA is. I'm going to put this up for Charlotte. The JATF is losing focus on the need for courthouse space and paying more attention to plazas, retail, moving. Charlotte, let me ask you a question. Do you remember me telling you that was going to happen? Do you remember me telling you this was not really about a courthouse? This is about an administrative building. It's not about a courthouse. That's what this is really about. And when it all shakes out, citizens of Rockdale County are going to see this is all about a new admin facility for the Board of Commission. It's not about a courthouse. The courthouse is just their rallying cry. It's the rallying cry to justify the expenditure. But at the end of the day, anyone who's paid attention to this for a very long time sees that the courthouse is secondary in what this Board of Commission is intending to do. So, especially just say this. If you look at that stat about the 59-60% of reduction, then that means this is the deal. Whether crimes occurring or not going on, they're not prosecuting those cases in the judicial system. Okay. So Rockdale County is not a judicial system that shares with other counties. Like Newton County is Newton County and Walton County. So they've got multiple counties that their judicial system covers. And that, Jill Odom, welcome. So it's very interesting that, Rockdale County it's a standalone judicial system, just Rockdale County. So we see Rockdale County, second smallest landmass county in the state. Population is, 90s, in the 90s. They're going to, and then these housing units that have been proposed and approved, there's no guarantee that all these units will ever be built. if we all remember back in 2007, 2008, there are still several site developments in Rockdale County right now where the land was cleared and utilities prepared, and they never built those developments. There's one right off of 138, right down from the Publix, and in between my East Fairview. There's one there that it was never built. It's got a big gate there, and that one there's several, and I think there's a couple other in the county where these developments were proposed, they were approved, but they were never built. And that could most definitely happen with these facilities that are proposed and approved right now. They may never be built uh, uh, in Rockdale County. That could definitely happen. But I want to put Charlotte's other comment up here. Yep, to stay within budget, they are reducing the court space and not the admin space. And that goes back to exactly what I said. This is not a courthouse project. This is a BOC admin project with a little bit of courthouse on the side. You know what I mean? You know how you have your side salad? This is courthouse on the side. This is Rockdale admin with a little courthouse on the side. And that's really what's going on. And and this is the truth, and this is the reality of what we've got going on in this county. As long as you have these three individuals in charge, this stuff is going to be ramrodded down your throat, my throat, and everybody's throat in Rockdale County. But this is the thing: is Rockdale County ready to stand up for itself and drop partisan politics? Because that's what it comes down to. So, these individuals feel they're very comfortable in getting reelected because they have D's behind their name. And when you've looked at the last decade, that's been a very successful model. You have a D behind your name, you get through the primary, you are going to win that general election. That's just what happens. So, what I would like to know is, are the citizens of Rockdale County ready to throw partisan politics to the side and try something new? Well, we're going to find out if they are, because I told you I intend on running for chairman as an independent in 2024, and I'm actually actively looking for someone to run as, let's per se, a running mate as an independent for the post one position, because I think if we as independents, no party affiliation, I would love to have an independent candidate run alongside me so that we can make true change in Rockdale County. And that's what it's going to take. It's going to take two people being elected in 24, replacing post one and replacing the chairman to make a substantial difference in Rockdale County. And I would love for someone to reach out to me if you would like to run for that post one position. And I'll tell you what we'll have to do is in January of 24, we'll start the signature process. We'll put a team together. We'll get volunteers. Myself and that candidate themselves will also go door knocking, collecting signatures. We will collect, it's under 3,000 signatures. We will collect the signatures to be able to do that. So I would love to have someone else volunteer. I would love to have Bill Campbell as my running mate. Just being frank with you, I think it would be a dream team, to be honest with you. But I would love to have someone running with me for that post one position, and we would actually be able to really make change. We would be able to pass a resolution throwing a change of government to our local delegation. This is what we want to see in Rockdale County. And let's put it on the ballot and let the people decide. Let's draw up what we would like to see, put it on the ballot, let the citizens of Rockdale County approve the government change that we propose, and have the legislature do what they're supposed to do. Represent the people and give the people a choice. That's all I'm asking. All I'm asking is that the people of Rockdale County have a choice. Have a choice. Corliss Turner, another excellent choice. Would love to have Corliss Turner as an independent running mate. And that's the thing about it. Anybody who agrees to do this would have to drop party labels. Uh, if anybody watching the show, you all know that I'm chairman of the Rockdale County Republican Party right now. I will not be chairman of the Rockdale County Republican Party this coming year. I will not be seeking re-election to that. I will not be a member of the board of the Rockdale County Republican Party. I will be stepping aside from that, dropping party affiliation. Now, let me tell you guys something. It doesn't bother me one bit to do that, and I'll tell you why. Because I identify conservatively, fiscally with the Republican Party, but socially and some social issues, I'm on board with the Democrat Party on a lot of different things. I was a Democrat for 25 years. I've been a Republican for 14 years. I am going to drop party label of both parties. I'm going to be an independent, and I want to start a coalition of independent voters in Rockdale County. We start a coalition of independent voters in Rockdale County, we could start a movement all throughout Georgia where these parties then have to come to us. They have to come to us with candidates that really will drop that party line, even if they're going to remain D's and R's. They need to drop the party agenda, and they need to drop that thing that they do where they don't get along and they won't pass legislation and they just carry their party lines, because that doesn't help you or I when they do that. But independent voters, if we can get independent voters to energize and to say we are independents, we're not going along with the party line anymore. We're going to. This is the thing. I'm not going to represent a party. I'm going to represent you. It shouldn't be about representing party. It should be about representing people, for God's sake. Because people is what, man, let me tell you, there's no need for government if government can't help people. And it's not getting in there and just ramrodding things and saying we're going to do this, but it's actually involving people, having serious meetings, having real citizens committees. Let's just take this fake infrastructure committee. This fake infrastructure committee, as point blank said, they do not want citizen input. They do not want citizen input. They are not going to allow citizens to ask questions. And from what I gather, they're upset when some of their own members ask questions. So let's see what Renee says right here. Renee says, many African Americans in Rockdale County would love to have you on the Rockdale County Board of Commission, and that's fact. I've been told many times by many African Americans in Rockdale County, Mr. Cox, I'd love to vote for you, but I can't vote for you as a Republican. And I understand that. I understand that about party loyalties and such. So I'm going to take the party loyalty off the table. And I'm going to let the Democrats of Rockdale County know that Larry Cox, for 25 years of his life, was a Democrat. For 14 years, Republican. 25 years, Democrat. But I'm going to drop all labels because Rockdale County citizens need someone who's going to represent them and not a party ideology or a party label. That's been the problem here in Rockdale County, not since only Democrats took control, but with Republicans in control also. It's been about party. It's not been about what's best for Rockdale County. And me, it's going to be about what's best for Rockdale County. Guys, we can make a big difference in Rockdale County. Rockdale County can set a trend. We can do things that people never thought was possible if we drop party ideology and we say it's about people, it's not about party. And that's what this campaign that I'm going to put together is all about. It's about putting people first. Putting people first dropping party labels, not representing a party ideology, but representing, because let's think about it. I've talked to people in Rockdale County, whether they be Democrats, Republicans, black, white, Hispanic. Everybody I've talked to in Rockdale County wants lower taxes, no matter what their party ideology is. But when it comes to the voting booth, they feel that they have to stick with the party thing. And what we don't understand is when we do that, we're not helping ourselves. So let's take the labels off. Let's have some people run with I's beside their name, independent, and give the folks of Rockdale County an opportunity to vote for someone who will represent them and not a party. I know, I mean, and I'll tell you, this is something that is scary to political parties because they are terrified that you, the citizens, will take back control of government. They don't want that. They really do not want that because we have both parties who don't actually represent you whatsoever. They represent to the extreme, one way or the other. When the reality is, most people are in the middle of the road. Most people want the right thing done, and they're willing to give a little. Political parties are not willing to give because they've got their line in the sand, especially now. 25 years ago, 30 years ago, there was some give and take. But right now, the time we live in, there's the line in the sand. Political parties, that's their identity. It's the line in the sand. There is no give. Well, sometimes the best idea is an idea that neither party is going to acknowledge or recognize because it goes against their platforms. And so be it. I'm not here any longer to please an ideology or a party. I'm here to say the citizens matter. And a moment ago, I said this, that government doesn't need to exist if it's not helping people. It really doesn't. But it doesn't need to run your life in every aspect either. People should have the right to make choices, to make decisions, and not be dictated by government, because that was never the intent of this great experiment that happened in this country. Never the intent. Restore Rockdale County, and that's exactly, restore Rockdale. And we can restore Rockdale if we come together and realize it's about people, not about parties. And that's what my campaign is going to be. And I really want someone to really drop that party label and join me in an effort to run as an independent, because it's a little effort. You got to get signatures. Fundraising is going to be a little more difficult because you're not mainstream. But at the end of the day, if we stick together, I believe an independent candidate will succeed in Rockdale County. Because this is the thing. If we elect Oz Nesmith again, we're going to have that Taj Mahal in Old Town Conyers. If we elect Oz Nesmith again, we're going to have high density housing in Rockdale County. If we elect Oz Nesmith again, we're going to continue with out of control hiring and spending, out of control paying county employees. Guys, I seen a report the other day where they had these 10 deputy directors that are on that courthouse committee. 10 deputy directors, not the courthouse committee, but the infrastructure committee. 9 out of 10 of those folks do not live in Rockdale County. They do not live in Rockdale County. So we have all these individuals who directors and assistant directors who are managing our lives, who don't have to live by the same rules and regulations and resolutions they put forth for us to live by. They don't have to live by the same tax rates that they impose on us. So it's ridiculous that we as citizens of Rockdale County have all these outsiders running our lives. And as far as that goes, guys, I mean, I think the city of Conyers is well represented. They don't need 2 of the commissioners living within the city boundaries. They need to live outside of Congress. That's why I firmly believe that we eventually need to get to a 5 commission system with all 5 being elected at large with a county manager and no super chairman. But that's way down the road. That's way down the road. We first have to elect someone to be in this form of government to be able to change it to a form of government that really represents Rockdale County. I'm going to ask for each and every one of your support and help in 24. We're going to start doing some stuff in 23. I'm going to form a committee in 23 that will allow me to begin to raise funds and do some campaigning. So look for that to happen probably into the second quarter, first of the third quarter of 23. You'll see that. The chairman has already activated his campaign election process. And Ahmad, Ahmad, he's going to run against Oz in the Democrat primary, and I wish him good luck. But like I said, I don't think the next chairman needs to be a member of a party. I think that chairman needs to be an independent that can actually work around the party process and not be beholding to the party. But that individual needs to know that they need to represent the citizens and be beholden to the citizens for electing them to that office, and they should always have a say. One of the first things I would do was chairman is I would right there at the commission, I would make a motion to expand the open comment to 5 minutes. I would change how we do it. I would like to see two open comment periods. One would actually be open comment at the end, which would be anything, and I would do away with the bylaws that don't allow you to talk about politics or don't let you talk about legislation. All of it, open comment, it all should be up for grabs. And I think that should be at the end of the meeting. At the beginning of the meeting, it should be agenda comments. People before the agenda is gone through, people should be able to make, and then there we would go to 3-minute comments. 3-minute comments on agenda items. Then we would have 5-minute comments at the end on anything. And that would give individuals a better opportunity to have it. We would no longer have, we would have one morning meeting. I would propose a resolution to have one morning meeting a month, and the other 3 would be evening meetings, 7 p.m., so that the citizens could attend. So if someone doesn't want to do that, don't run for office. If you can't stay up past 9 o'clock, and we would not use those meetings for all this running stuff through to publicize. They would be meetings. We could have special called meetings to do these award ceremonies and all that kind of stuff. We would not use the regular meetings for that purpose. The regular meetings would be used for the sole purpose of running the county, for the commissioners to have debate about resolutions, budgets, and those kind of things. If I was chairman, we would have debates about the issue right there. And you know what? That's what we need to do. And it's not that we wouldn't get along. Just because you don't agree on things doesn't mean you wouldn't like each other or you would have ill will. But it's good to have dialogue about what's going on in this county and the proposals that are coming forward. And it's good for the citizens to hear that dialogue of the commissioners so they know exactly how their commissioners are thinking and that gives you, the citizens, you'll be aware of, well, do I really want that person representing me, knowing how they really feel? Because let me tell you, as chairman, it would be a lot different run meeting with me at that chair. And there would be several top level employees that if I was elected in December, I would be sending them letters asking them to resign at the first of the year, because if they don't, I'm going to be doing a vote of confidence, which I think we have to do those in those executive meetings. But we would do votes of confidence and especially if we were able to get that other independent elected. Like I said, the top officials in Rockdale County need to live in Rockdale County. The top bureaucrats in Rockdale County need to live in Rockdale County. If you're going to make policy about this county, you need to live in this county, and you also need to have to live by the policies that you're implementing in Rockdale County. That's what I feel. That's what I believe. And I think if we are successful in this independent movement, that's what can happen. Now, people aren't going to like this. They are not. I mean, people are going to like it. But those individuals who work here are not going to like it. I don't care, because guess what, guys? They don't live here. They can't vote for us. They can't do anything for us. I don't care if these top level employees like it or not, because they don't live here. And I don't care if this current board of commission like it or not, because we don't want them to be in office if we're going to challenge them. And I think we make it very clear during the campaign that if you elect these individuals, it's going to be the same thing as high taxes, people from out of the county running the county. You won't have a voice. You elect this independent group of individuals, you're going to have people who live in Rockdale County working for Rockdale County. You're going to have a voice in Rockdale County, because these individuals are going to represent you and not party affiliation. That's what's going to happen if we have the courage to stand up and make a difference. I believe the citizens of Rockdale County have that courage, and I'm willing to put myself on the line for you. And I'm looking for that other person that's willing to put their self on the line and run as an independent with me for post 1. So it's out there, guys. Share the show, like the show. People start reaching out to me. Do that. Reach out to me, because we have to have an open form of government. Somebody just texted me and said a forensic. Of course, a forensic audit. Let me tell you what. I wouldn't feel comfortable taking over as chairman of Rockdale County without doing a forensic audit of what's been going on for the last decade in Rockdale County. I would not feel comfortable at all. And I agree 100% with that. Of course, that would be one of the things that we would do. But some of the other things I'm talking about, it's transparency. It's putting people first. But of course, we would do a forensic audit. And this thing about it, guys, we would be upfront and open with you, the citizens, moving forward. Another thing that I would do as chairman, open record requests would be free. There would be no paying for it. There would be no paying for open records requests. And let me just point this out. If somebody is just asking a lot of open records requests and it's repetitive, I'm going to actually call them to come into the office and ask them, what do you have an issue with? Let's resolve it. Let's get you your open records so we don't have to keep going down this road. Because my administration would be so transparent. Don't care if you ask them or not, but I don't also want to bog down department heads with them unnecessarily. That's what I blame. So we're not going to get a forensic audit unless we change administration. Going to give you a little bit of insight of why. I believe this administration has something to hide. And if you had something to hide, let me just ask you guys, would you investigate yourself? The answer is no. So we can ask and ask and ask. They're going to come up with reasons, explanations, saying the little flimsy audit they do, that's sufficient. Okay. They will never do a forensic audit on themselves as long as these 3. Now, when we replace 2 of them and we're able to get that vote, then we will be able to have a forensic audit. These 3 individuals will never have a forensic audit for the fear that it will expose something and incriminate them in something. That's why. So, guys, we can keep asking for it, but I'm going to be honest with you. It will never happen, because those 3 are not going to investigate themselves Just think about it. Use a little logic. That's the reality that we're living in. They definitely, and Renee Simpson, I like to put that up there. Thank you. They definitely have something to hide, which is why there has never been a forensic audit. And I think, Renee would agree that as long as these individuals are in office, you're not going to get a forensic audit. Not going to happen. But that would be one of the first things that I would put the vote to have a forensic audit, um, uh, uh, so that we know exactly what's been going on with the finances of Rockdale County for a long time. I would put a citizens group together to actually suggest things for the auditors to look at. The citizens group would be able to meet, propose some things, and then throw them out there, and then the auditors would go to work with that, and then also things that myself and the other commissioner that would be elected, we would actually be able to see some things too as we come into office that need to be looked at, because we would probably have access to things that are hidden from the normal citizen right now. They would not be able to hide that from the chairman. And if the chairman wielded his power, and some individuals were, the department heads were not being forthcoming, then myself and that other commissioner could terminate those individuals and put somebody in place that would be cooperative, so we'd be able to get to the bottom of things. And that's where I'm going to tell you, there's going to be some turnover when you elect that independent team too, because you're going to have individuals who are in some of these positions that have been involved in the shenanigans, and they don't want a forensic audit either, because those commissioners can't do it without help. So they've got help with shenanigans, and those will be from the bureaucrats. So that's what I look at, guys. That's what I see. That's what I would like to do. So I want to thank everybody for letting me rant and rave for 45 minutes. I think I did pretty good. Just going with the flow tonight. Like I said, I'm going to get with George this week, see if he and I can't work out our technical difficulties, see if we can't get him on the show. But I appreciate everybody coming on the show tonight. I appreciate Renee coming and chiming in, and and being in agreement with a lot of the things that I've said that needs to happen in Rockdale County. And then, and I think this is an excellent comment, and I agree 1,000% with her. I'm sick of voting being divided due to cliques, race, and party affiliation. It's time to bring change. And I firmly believe that. And if we've got individuals that will come together as a community, and that's what it needs to be about, guys. It needs to be about community. So again, thank you each and every one for joining me tonight. Share and like this show. Tell your friends to go on and watch this episode, so that they can also know what the intent of my that I want to do, and I'm looking for an independent running mate. I really, someone who wants to run, I really want you to reach out to me. Let me know you want to do that, because I think if we do this together, we can make a big difference in Rockdale County. And I'm really dependent on you guys to help me, and somebody to run as an independent for Post 1, so that we can get this done together. Thank you, everybody. Good night. And I look forward to seeing each and every one of you this Wednesday. And just to be honest with you, let me let you know something, guys. I will be doing a Christmas night show, because I'm going to get some new toys in, and I want to try my new my new camera at home. So I'm going to be trying my new camera out Christmas night. So we will be doing a show Wednesday, and I will be doing a Christmas night show. So I look forward to seeing each and every one of you this coming Wednesday. And like I said, hopefully George and I can work out the technical difficulties, and we can have him on the show and talk about the water, because water will be an issue I have to deal with as chairman too. Trust me, my tenure as chairman is not going to be an easy one, with all the things I want to do and change the form of government. But we'll talk about that on our next show, what that change looks like, a form of government, and then also what timeline we would look at. So thank you, everybody, and I will see you Wednesday night.